where you're getting all of that good stuff. And then just as that relationship goes over to all the bad stuff, there's still some good. Relationships are great. But as soon as it becomes from lust to love, they bounce. And I think that is the perfect system when you're dating women. Hello guys, and welcome back to another episode. In this episode, we're going to be talking about the two options that everyone thinks you have. You either need to be married or you need to be a player. Everybody believes in life that that's the only two options, that's the only route to go down. And I'm here to tell you it's not. All right? And that's one thing that I do on First Man a lot is I don't tell you what to do with your life. I just show you a different option that maybe the narrative, the media haven't told you about. And then when you discover it, you make your own decision. But it gives you a different viewpoint on life. It opens your eyes. That's what I want to be here for. That's what I want to do. So on the topic of married or player, I don't like either. I'll be honest with you. I look at marriage and I think, it's not very beneficial for the man, is it? I don't know any man that long term has benefited from marriage and has got to 78 years old and been like, fuck, I'm glad I did that. I think they probably regretted at least 10 years in and thought, I thought this would be better. The fairy tales didn't all add up. And multiple other reasons that I've gone into on multiple videos. I think you guys probably know already. And if you're watching this video, you probably know that marriage sucks, right? The other side of the coin is being a player. Now, being a player is dangerous for multiple reasons, STIs and stuff like that as well. But, there's ways around that. But being a player is just it's just tough. You always, unless you're the most ridiculously good-looking, successful guy on the planet, you're going to have to find a different woman every night. And even that's tough. Even if you're the best looking successful guy, that's still money being spent. There's still a night out every single fucking night or once a week or whatever. Like, it becomes draining. It's not fun. What I've noticed over the years and something that I've adopted myself is long-term dating. So 3 to 6 months. I think 3 months is pretty perfect. So a lot of guys, successful guys, the first person I ever saw do this was Trey Songz. I was so impressed. Trey Songz would have a different woman every 3 months, like 3, 4, 5 women a year. I'm sure he sleeps with other women in between that, but as he's gotten older, it seemed as though what he did is he picked like one high quality woman and slept with her for 3 or 4 months and then went on tour and was just like, hey, bye, and maybe got the next one. And any guy who's been in a relationship will know that around about 3 to 6 months, the dynamic changes. So that happy-go-lucky, friendly, never moan at you for anything woman who wants to have sex all day that you meet in the first 3 months, that goes away. We all know that, guys. The first 3 to 6 months is heaven. It's brilliant. She loves everything about you. You fart in your sleep and it's considered cute. 6 months down the line, it's like, oh, you're disgusting. I'm going to sleep downstairs and stuff like that. She starts nagging you for leaving stuff around the house. She starts saying, hey, what do you think about marriage and kids? Like, all these pressures start coming. Around about the 3 month stage, I found that's when things start to change. Sometimes 6, is a little borderline. But 3 is when she might have the first moan at you. She might get angry for you being late for the first time. She might say something, who knows, right? But it's 3 months. I feel like that's the happiest period of like an early relationship when the sex is the best, everything's new, your dopamine's going off the chart. And I saw Trey Songz do this. He would find the most beautiful women in the world, date them for 3 months, treat them like princesses, take them around the world, sleep with them, do everything he wanted to do. Around about 3 months, bang. Trey Songz is now single, would be the headline. About 2 weeks later, he's got another woman. All right? 3 months. Oh, they're in a relationship. Bang. It was like clockwork every single time. And I'm seeing people like Drake do that. I'm seeing people like Chris Brown do that. Seeing famous actors now do the same thing when they kind of date around. Leonardo DiCaprio, one of the best examples. He does long-term dating. He takes women abroad for like 3 months. He dates a woman for like 3 months and then he'll never speak to her again. He kind of drops that ball. And I honestly think as men who are trying to be successful is kind of the best strategy because it allows you to go for high quality women. It allows you to be less of a dick. Okay, so you without the commitment, you're not having the commitment, but also you're not a dick, you're not a player, you're not doing these one night stands, which is very childish behavior. You know, if you frame yourself as a player, you're walking around saying, I'm a player, like it's a badge of honor. It's not. It's quite a dick move. Whereas like the 3-month period where you can spend time with that person, you can get to know them, you know, you can make great memories, you can go and do stuff together. Maybe it's 6 months, who knows? But then I think it's dangerous. It turns into a relationship. But that like 3-month period, especially once you got money, is what I'm saying, guys. Like when you become successful and you have money, like this is going to be pretty much my goal. Once I get to that like 3-month period, once I get to like 30 and I've ticked off streaming platform and everything else, and I've done all the goals that I want to do, when I date women, that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to say, hey, let's get to know each other. Okay, let's go on 1, 2, 3 dates, sex, weekends at mine, whatever. Let's go for a walk. Let's have fun. Okay, now let's go to Paris. All right, I want to go to Cuba, like fly them around a bit, enjoy that time, like do what you want to do with a woman. And then when it gets to like the 3-month point and it starts being like, oh, I've left my toothbrush at your house, it's like, no, gone, next. I honestly think that's the only way to kind of keep that focus and have the best of both worlds. So you're allowed to stay focused on your own shit. You know, they haven't moved in with you. You haven't got a joint bank account. You haven't got that like mortgage and stuff with them. You're not having kids. All of that gets pushed to the side, but you still get all the best bits of an early relationship where you're having fun, where you're dating, where you're sleeping together. The sex is new and it's a high quality woman that you can enjoy for like 3 months, which is good fun. You know, that's a good way to do it. You're comfortable with that woman. You're familiar. That's a nice way to do it. Whereas if you're dating a different woman every single night, I think that gets expensive. That gets silly. I just don't think that's the way to do it. I think you're always hunting and it's just a massive time waster. Whereas if you have these women for like a sustained period of time, and then at the end of that, you don't burn bridges. She might be angry, but you don't burn bridges. You're just like, hey, okay, like, sorry, this is just what I want to do. I'm following life goals. Here's the path that I want to follow. You know, it's bye for now, but who knows what happens in the future. You can always revisit, which is good. So you've got this string of high quality women that you can revisit. You can date whenever you want, but that 3-month period keeps it fresh. It keeps it new. If anybody's ever, you know, jumped into a new relationship with a young, beautiful woman, you get an energy burst. You feel good about yourself. You're like, oh, I feel confident. I've got energy. Life's good. You know, I'm ready to go. She's giving me a new lease on life. I want to accomplish this and this and this. I'm going to start hitting the gym. Like, you get that new relationship energy burst. You can, and believe this, right, guys? Women do use like a vampire energy suck-in type of thing. It sounds crazy, right? But science has looked into this multiple times, and so many guys are coming to this conclusion that, like, these women are just draining guys of their energy. So all these guys that are staring at these girls and going, oh my God, she's so hot. Science has proven that there's an energy transition. Like, energy will be transferred between the two people. Like they say, when you have sex with somebody, that energy remains for years and years and years to come. Like, you'll always have that energy between each other, that bond where that person left an imprint on yourself, and they reckon it's something to do with energies, right? So women have that effect where they will suck that energy from men. Why shouldn't we do it as men? Why shouldn't we date a young, beautiful, hot woman for like 3 months, suck all that energy for ourselves to make ourselves feel fucking great, motivated, driven, get in better shape, you know, enjoy the dates, enjoy the sex, enjoy this, the holidays, part, whatever, and then go, okay, something new. You get that same effect. Okay, 3 months, something new, and you get that same effect. Why shouldn't we do that same thing and use it for everything that it's worth? And the girl's having a fun time, you know, she's enjoying it, whatever. Just because you don't want a relationship, there's no problem with that. But if you're questioning my methods right there and what I'm saying, and you're thinking, okay, it's a little bit, it's a little bit this or that, I don't want to go down that route, I don't agree with this, the vampire energy thing, Chris, you've lost your fucking mind, take the hat off, it's cutting your circulation. It could be. It actually leaves an imprint on my forehead, which is why I left it on. But if you're thinking all of that, look at top-level men. Please go and take a look at top-level men. They literally date the same woman for like 3 months. It's almost like clockwork, and then they move on to the next one. They're top-level guys. They're getting options thrown at them every single day. They find the best version. They find the best woman they can find for like that 3-month period. They date her, and then when something better comes along, they date her. Then when they get bored of her and there's a girl with a different hair color, so you're with a blonde, brunette comes along, you think she's hot, you change. There's a black woman that you think's gorgeous, date her. Oh, there's an Asian, and you're changing every 3 months. I honestly think this keeps men young and motivated. And if you look at all the highest ranking men in the world, they all do the same thing. They all do the same thing. You know, the men that are young enough to pull it off, that aren't in like political positions, they all do the same. Well, under the radar, a lot of them are still doing it, like Berlusconi, etc., and Trump, I believe. But most of the guys that are young enough and they're in a position, like let's say they're 20 to 45 or whatever, most of the celebrity guys, the high-ranking guys, they're doing that same thing. They're dating a woman for like 3 months and then they're moving on. They're using that as energy. They figured out this system that is like the sweet spot where you're getting all of that good stuff. And then just as that relationship goes over to all the bad stuff, you know, there's still some good. Relationships are great. But as soon as it becomes from lust to love, they bounce. And I think that is the perfect system when you're dating women.